It's time. Studio tour time. I've had dozens of people DMing me on Instagram saying, Cold Brew, let's see the studio. Let's see the gear. Show me everything you're using. I want to know the juice. I want to know the sauce. And today, I'm going to be doing that. I've got to clean the studio first. It is absolutely abysmal in here right now as far as the cleaning situation. My cable management is out of control. It's absolutely outrageous. I'll be the first one to admit it is embarrassing how bad my cable management is, but we're going to fix that. And I'm going to just snap. The studio is going to be clean. We're going to get into this tour of the studio. All right. The magic snap. Boom. 8 hours later, we are here. It feels like, you know that feeling whenever you get a fresh haircut after having really long hair? I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but that's how it feels in the studio right now. It just feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Still got a little bit of cable management to do, but we're very cleaned up here and feeling very fresh and nice. It's crazy how just dusting things off can make them feel brand new. I'm just gonna go right to left all the way around the studio, and we're gonna talk about all of the pieces of gear and what I use them for. All right, let's do it. First piece I want to talk about here, Ableton Push 2. The Push 3 is out now. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't found a reason to, really, just because this Push 2 gets everything done that I need to get done. And I've used it since 2018, pretty much my whole first 3 years of releasing music as Cold Brew. It was all made exclusively in Ableton and with the Push, all in the box, no hardware or anything. This thing is like a powerhouse that there's two pieces of gear that I always recommend to people the most, and I say Ableton Push 2 and then these Sennheiser headphones. I moved them over there, but I'll talk about those later. Speakers I have here are the Atom Audio. I think they're the A7V, maybe? I don't know. They're the A7. They're A7 something. It'll be in the description. All the links to everything I'm talking about will be in the description. So a lot of this stuff I probably don't know the right name for. I just kind of like it. So great monitors. I love them. I mean, it's everything that you need for mixing. It's just they're great. I mean, they sound good. So that's all there really is to say about monitors. It sounds good. It's a balanced mix. Nothing's like out of whack or anything like that. And then let's talk about this compressor. Stolen Drums put me onto this thing. It is absolutely incredible. It's the DBX 119. It's from the 70s, and it is, I mean, you just need to go look up videos on this on its own. It makes drums sound crazy good. And then I also like to use it on synthesizers, pianos, anything, just to kind of glue it together. This thing is a little bit kind of like, it can go a little haywire, which is something that I like about it, depending on how far you crank it. But for something that's like something musical, like a synth, I will use it very lightly, just to kind of glue things together. But then with drums, I'll kind of crank it and let it go wild. And then let's talk about this mic here. It's a SM7B, pretty standard mic that you'll see in a lot of studios. Pretty much every podcast uses it. You have to use one of these with it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what your audio interface is. Cloud lifter, it's like $150, which is like half the price of the mic, which kind of sucks. But it makes it sound great. You don't get any noise, because the problem with this is if you're not using it on drums, if you're using it on a voice, you'll get a bunch of noise whenever you try and crank it up. And the cloud lifter just completely eliminates that. This monitor, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's LG ultra wide, something along those lines. Link in the description. All right, this thing right here. Here, let me get you up closer. This guy will speed up your workflow by like 20x. It's incredible. It's a Elgato Stream Deck, and people use it for streaming. Obviously, it's called the Stream Deck, but I use it for just fast file management. I can press a button and go straight to the album that I'm working on. I can go to my 2024 folder. I can quit out of applications. You can list any shortcut you want to it. I can open Ableton right here. I can open up Final Cut Pro. You can put text in here where you press a button and it'll automatically put a specific text in that you want it to do. It can control Spotify. It can control your lighting. I mean, the world's your oyster with this thing. Speeds up your workflow like crazy. I will open up this. I'll open up this here. This keyboard drawer. This is a Complete Control S88. Here, let me move you back a little bit. There. Complete Control S88. I don't use Complete Control. Is this? Yeah, I don't. Native Instruments. I don't know. Whatever it's called. I don't use a lot of Native Instruments stuff. I don't really use Contact or anything like that. I got this solely because I was looking for a weighted MIDI keyboard, and I like that the lights come on whenever I hit the notes. I just like that because it's cool, and I don't care what anybody tells you. Coolness should play a factor in the gear that you buy, because if you think it's cool, then you're going to be more likely to use it, and that's what it's all about. It's like, if you, like, for instance, my guitar, okay, you can get 10 guitars that all have the same pickups, but the one that has the coolest color combination, the coolest shape, whatever, you're going to be inclined to pick that up and make music with it, and that's going to be your ROI on that guitar, is that it's just cool. So cool factor, don't discount the cool factor. Heading over here to the pedals, I only have 2 pedals, and they're both by Hologram. This is Microcosm. I mean, you know what this is. This is a chroma console. They're great. I really only use the Microcosm whenever I'm doing super ambient stuff, but I use the chroma console on pretty much everything. So if I had to recommend one or the other, obviously it depends on what you're going to be using it for more, but I feel like the chroma console is much more versatile and can be used with a much wider range of sounds. Then we got the Apollo Twin. Great interface, 2 channels. It's all I need. I like the knob. I don't know, it looks cool, looks nice. That's why I have it. SSL6 Super Analog is my mixer, and right now you can see I'm running my mic that I'm using through channel 1, and then I have the Labyrinth through channel 2, and channel 2 is also usually where I put my bass or my guitar. I just swap it out. This is just my instrument line, really. And then 2 stereo channels here, and I use them for my synths. So I have a Matriarch going into one, and then in the other one I have the pedal chain. So I'll send one of the synths through the pedal chain, whichever one I'm using or feel like, or sometimes I'll just leave the pedals off, but regardless, it's going to go through that chain. So that's my setup with this. It has a built-in compressor that is lovely. It is a very nice compressor. It is very subtle, glues things together great. You're not going to get any crazy dynamics like you do with the DBX 119, but it still is an incredible, like, just kind of takes your mix and just kind of makes it nice. All right. And then what I would consider the most important piece of gear in the studio, the HD 650s, Sennheiser HD 650s. These headphones are absolutely phenomenal. And whenever people ask me about gear to get started making music, aside from a laptop or whatever you're going to run your DAW on, these. And I would even put these above the Ableton Push, just because you can make music without a controller, but you can't make music without hearing the music. And these headphones are like listening to your mix in a treated environment. And yes, they're expensive. They're expensive headphones, but it's more expensive to treat your space and buy really nice monitors. And I would get these headphones before I would mix on monitors. And I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that are coming for me. Oh, you know, all like, it's got to be in good monitors in a good treated room. Like, whatever. I don't know. But like, send your stuff off to a mastering engineer and they'll help you polish off whatever else you need to. To get a really solid mix, you just need those headphones. Like, I don't care what anybody tells you. Like, just get those headphones and you'll have a nice mix. You'll hear the mix in a good, balanced, clear way. What more do you need? Over here, I've got Teenage Engineering KO2. Really, really good device for travel. That's the main thing that I use it for is whenever I'm traveling, I'll just use it to make beats because it's really portable and it's fun to make music on and it looks cool. It has the cool factor, so it'll bring you in, make you want to play with it. Got 2 turntables here for vinyl mixes. I don't know what they're called, but they'll be linked in the description so you can find them there. And then here, this is really a nice, like, this, it's totally unnecessary, okay? You don't need this to make music. But I like to run my mixes through this. It's a ReVox A77. And you can just, I like to record my mixes onto tape and then run it back into the DAW and then send it off for mastering that way. It just gives it a nice texture. I don't know, like, it could just be in my head, but it's just like, this thing's been around since the 70s. It's got life in it. Like, it adds life to the songs because of the life that it's lived. I don't know. It's just, it makes me feel good. And if it feels good, then it's a good part of the process. You can't go wrong whenever something just makes you feel good when you're making music. And then I've got Stratocaster here. I don't know what model of Stratocaster, but it's a Stratocaster, and I'll link it in the description. And then I've got the Hofner violin bass. I mean, just for the music I make, it's like, it's warm, it's soft, it's got the boom, it's got everything that I need for bass in my tracks, and I love that bass so much. I almost use this bass for guitar lines as much as I use the Stratocaster, because I'll just play like really high up on the lowest, or the thinnest string, and I'll just use that. You guys need to know, I don't know that much about music. I just know how it makes me feel and what sounds I like. And that's it. I follow that. So if you're looking for super technical analysis of things, I'm not your guy. I can just tell you what I like to use and what brings me joy. Carrying on over here, the Pioneer XDJ-XZ. It's really solid for whenever I do DJ gigs. It's just like, don't need to bring a laptop. Just bring this, plug a USB in, mix. It's great. And then I also use it to do vinyl mixes. I just put the vinyls in the back on 3 and 4 and mix on those channels, and it works like a charm. This is a Roland drum kit. Again, surprise, surprise, I don't know what it's called, but it'll be linked in the description. And this honestly has almost no use in my music. Aside from the cymbals, I like to use the cymbals to get more of a like real feel to the cymbals in my tracks. But this was a fun purchase for me. This is a purchase that, like, as a kid, I loved playing drums, and so I use this for fun, just to hop on and play drums. Like, I'll just drum along to rock songs and whatever metal music or whatever else I want to play drums to. I'll just hop on and play every now and then, and it's just fun. Like, not everything has to serve, you know, a purpose to the music that you're making. You can just do this for fun as well. Now to the Synth Station, which is the newest addition to my studio, and right now where I'm having the most fun, certainly. I got the Moog Muse. This is a brand new synthesizer from Moog, and I understand about 3% of what this thing does, and so far I've spent probably a collective of 30 hours playing on it, and I don't know if I'll ever find the bottom of what this thing can do. It's incredible. And pretty much the same thing for the Matriarch here. I found a few things that I like it to do, and especially with it being semi-modular, there's really so many possibilities. Like once you start routing things to other things, and I just kind of plug stuff in and plug it into other places and listen to what it does, and I don't really know like what all of these things mean. I've figured out that the blocks around the letters mean it's an output. And aside from that, I'm literally just like plugging stuff in different places and trying to get cool sounds out of it. And this thing has no shortage of cool sounds. And then up here, last stop of the room, I've got the Labyrinth. The Labyrinth from Moog. And I've got the Benidub DS71 Dub Siren. And the Dub Siren is just fun. That's what it does. It's just bloopies, and it's really good for like sound effects and transitional periods in music that I'm creating. I use it to transition from like climatic part into a more chill part, or vice versa. It's just really good for transitions. And so far with the Labyrinth, the main use that I've had for this thing is drums. I really like using it for like hi-hats and shaker sounds. That's my main use with this thing. It's just it's quite an interesting little machine that I have barely scratched the surface on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I want to talk about this guy because I use this guy quite a bit too. This is a sound recorder, H1N sound recorder, and I love it. I just used it a couple nights ago. I woke up and it was like 5 a.m. and it was raining, and so I sprinted into the studio, got the sound recorder, and then started recording, propped it up in the window, and then went back to sleep and woke up to like 2 hours of rain recording that I'll throw in my music. And so yeah, a sound recorder is just always good to have if you want to get Foley or anything like that. But yeah, that's it. That's the studio. We did it, people. This is my studio. 2024. I might do an update next year because I'm sure I'll have new stuff or a new arrangement or new insight. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. If there's anything that I left out that you guys have questions on, please comment down below what you want to know, and I will answer it. I read all the comments and I answer all of them. So if you have a question, I would like to answer it. But yeah, remember, making music is fun. You should be having fun while you're doing it, and you should get gear that is exciting to you and not just because somebody else buys it. This is what works for me in my setup. Everybody's setup is different. It's kind of like a fingerprint. Your setup is like your fingerprint. It's going to be whatever makes the most sense to you, and that's what's going to give you your sound and your style, and so just follow that. All right, well, I'm running out of battery here, both social battery and camera battery, so